Alright guys, breaking news. We now have a 4.0 earthquake at Long Valley Caldera near Tom's Place, which is on the southern periphery of the caldera. The earthquake was at 9.7 kilometers deep, which is 9,700 meters, with a magnitude of 4.0. I am pretty sure that Ben Ferriello is gonna make a video of this tonight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna make a video on this. The earthquake was centered about, I would say, five and a half miles from the center of the caldera, at a depth of 9.7 kilometers, which I strongly believe is the magma chamber itself. I just found out about this earthquake right now. The depth of the magma chamber is around between 8 and 12 kilometers in depth. Actually, it's a little shallower. But that is, I believe, could be more magma entering the system. Because back in 1980, there was a swarm of large earthquakes. In fact, there were 3 magnitude 6 plus earthquakes, strongest of which being a 6.1. And at that time, the ground in the caldera, in the center of the caldera, right at the resurgent dome, swelled by 2 meters, almost by 2 meters. That's like a 6-foot uplift in only a few years. Why? That's because magma entered the system. And the thing is, magma is still entering the caldera. Though a lot of it is crystallized, it's not eruptible. Crystallization of magma actually makes it more explosive, as it traps the gases in the magma. And there's still magma entering the magma chamber, which makes it more volatile. As magma, when it enters the chamber and mixes, and the mixing of magma releases more and more gas, which causes swelling at the floor of the caldera, at the base, at the top. So will there be another eruption at Long Valley? Well, there hasn't been an eruption in Long Valley in over 20,000 years, and the last super eruption happened 640,000 years ago. So it definitely says that there could be more eruptions in the future. But I don't know if there's going to be a super eruption, but the thing is, they found more than 100 cubic kilometers of magma in there. And that's more than enough for a super eruption. In fact, they found 140 cubic kilometers of magma. And they said about 20 to 30% of melt, which is pretty impressive. So it definitely could have an eruption in the future when the time is right.
Please move away from the door.
Boulevard, Avery Avenue.
The magma chamber in the caldera holds about 140 cubic kilometers of magma, which is a lot of magma. Keep in mind that a VEI 5 eruption, a Mount St. Helens type eruption, is only 1 cubic kilometer of magma. 10 cubic kilometers is automatically a VEI 6 eruption, like Pinatubo, Krakatoa, Nova Rupta, or Santa Maria. And anything over 100 kilometers is considered VEI 7, which is also considered a super eruption. People think super eruption is a VEI 8 eruption, which is 1,000 cubic kilometers or more. The thing is, the famous Tambora eruption that caused a year without summer in 1816 was actually 100 cubic kilometers. So there's enough magma in Long Valley to trigger another year without a summer, plus 40 more additional kilometers. If all of that was eruptible, and say all of that magma, though most of it's crystallized, just erupted in a massive ash cloud over the course of a few days or weeks, or maybe a few days most likely, it will cause a climate catastrophe on the Earth. You're going to have at least 2 or 3 years of famine and starvation. You might not have an ice age, like you're not going to have glaciers coming down from the Arctic and swallowing everything, no. But you'll have a famine, you'll have severe weather events, you'll have droughts, wildfires. Yeah, droughts and wildfires are usually associated with global warming. But in a cooling planet, they could also happen as the precipitation patterns will shift. Like you might have areas that are wet right now become drier, and areas that are dry and hot right now become cooler. There will be mostly cooling, like you'll have drier and cooler weather, but the dryness could cause more wildfires. But in the temperate regions, like where we live, it's going to become more stormier because here you have clashing of air mass. The Arctic will become colder, and the tropics will, well, more or less stay the same. And so you're going to have stronger storms, more powerful, hurricanes as the world adjusts. But once equilibrium is reached, more or less, with the temperatures, you'll have more droughts, more than anything. So you'll have droughts simply because of not enough precipitation. Though even if you get more precipitation in a hotter environment, you could also have droughts, such as the water evaporates so quickly that the soil becomes dry. So in a warming world, you'll also have bigger droughts. Even though the atmosphere can hold more water vapor in a warmer world, soil will actually become drier. Like you might have an increase in precipitation compared to a cooler world, but the thing is, because it's so darn hot out, all that moisture in the soil just gets evaporated, so it's as if you're still having a drier climate. But if you're having a more moderate climate, you'll have more rainfall than when you're having the droughts, like from the heat, and also more than when you're having the cooling. So you'll have the most rainfall and also the least or the less evaporation. Then you'll have better conditions for farming, for growing crops. So in an event of a volcanic eruption, the Great Plains might become, instead of maybe just a dry desert, might become colder. So certain crops you might not be able to grow there because the growing season might be shortened. I don't expect the Great Plains to be turned into a desert because you'll still have storms coming down from the Rockies. You'll still have moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. But in a cooler world, you will have more, a shorter growing season. And that'll present its own set of problems, such as frosts, like in the Northeast. The year without summer, there was even snow in June, frosts in August. Frosts even in the middle of the dead of summer, you were having frosts. Yeah, I mean, that's not unheard of. Like one time I was in Randolph, Mass. In July, it was in the 40s. It was a one-time thing in July of 2009. But the most important thing to understand is we're changing the planet more than anything can, more than any volcanic eruptions. Yes, there is a 4.0 earthquake at Long Valley, and that could herald future volcanic activity. But keep in mind that Long Valley had 3 magnitude 6s in a row, and nothing happened. So does this mean that Long Valley is going to erupt? Not necessarily. Just because there was a 4.0, there's been so many big earthquakes there that a 4.0 is nothing. And it didn't even occur right at the caldera. It occurred outside of the caldera, near the edge of the caldera boundary. It did occur close to the caldera edge. Oh wait, there's some flashing stuff over there. Hold on. You see that? See that flashing there? Huh. It's gone now. It's probably the train from Jamaica Station. Something like that. I don't know. But thanks for watching. Bye.